The clear understanding of financial intelligence is more important today than ever before. You see, the clear understanding of financial intelligence will help you to navigate this pandemic that we're in currently, this novel coronavirus. Now, financial intelligence is relevant to the business community, it's relevant to the average individual, it's relevant to people across the board. I am happy to say that at Global Capital Inc., we have designed a very unique program, the 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp. And this program stands on four pillars. One, you will learn about the pathways to financial independence. Two, you will learn about the wealth love language. Three, you will learn about the leadership love language. And last but not least, you will learn about the importance of doing your income audit analytics. Four unique platforms for you to understand. Today, I want to take you on a journey, and that is to look a little deeper into an element of this program. And the element that we're going to be looking at is how to set goals and how to cash flow even in a pandemic. So we're going to go deep into that lesson today. And this is lesson 3 from our 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp. Now, for those who might be joining me for the first time, my name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books, including Manager's Toolkits and Billionaire Quotes. Now, these two books, we have already took them to bestsellers, and my new book titled 10X Branding and Marketing, the Psychology of Doing Business, will be out very soon. This is a book that you don't want to miss. It will literally transform your life if you're in business, because we dig into the belly of what is branding and marketing and how to leverage those systems. Now, what I will do, I will share my screen with you as I go into today's program. And as I said, today we are going to be digging a little deeper into the belly of 10X Wealth Leadership. And we're going to be looking today at how to set financial goals and cash flow in a pandemic. Now, this program comes to you with the kind compliments of Global Capital Inc. Now, at Global Capital Inc., we have a few portfolios that we are representing at the moment. We provide services in the field of corporate debt management. And what exactly do I mean by corporate debt management? Well, we see that businesses across the world, you buy debt. But what we do when you buy those debt, we show you how to manage your debt life cycle and how to manage your debt costs. This means that with the unique programs that we will introduce you to, it will literally be showing you what is good debt, what is bad debt, how the wealthy buy debt, and how the wealthy manage debt. And at the end of the day, this program will literally be showing you how to save hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars on your debt portfolio. Along with this, we provide services in the field of corporate wealth management. The last thing that you want to do is to have your excess liquidity parked, getting dust somewhere. So what we do, we literally work with high net worth individuals. We work with businesses to really put a proposition that really helps you how to up level your cash. So you don't have excess liquidity parked, gaining dust. And of course, we introduce you to a number of strategic wealth management systems that really takes your income to a whole nother level. In these programs, we talk a lot about asset management and the portfolios that go under asset management. We talk about how to leverage your excess liquidity in the form of as an accredited investor, and so much more. Along with this, we provide services in the field of personal debt management. And by this, I mean the average individual who goes out to the DCM to take a debt to purchase your home. Again, most people allow that debt to run a life cycle. And at the end of that life cycle, your principal balance double up. All right. And what we do is to help you to manage that portfolio. So you can save hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on that debt portfolio. You could bring the debt to a close much earlier. And I trust that the financial institution will love you more for this because you're going to become a good paymaster. And it allows you to get the equity in your asset much earlier. This gives you equity leverage. So there's a lot to talk about in these programs. So I want you to reach out to us in the event that you have a business, you want to know more about debt management, you have your company, you have excess liquidity. Let us talk to you about our unique portfolios. We can talk to you as a corporate leader about, you know, your corporate paycheck protection program, cash flow protection program, developing personal paycheck protection program for your employees, and so much more. All right, last but not least, the services that we are looking at right now is your personal wealth management programs. Now, the services that we provide here really helps you to understand how to build wealth. So we talk about home ownership, car ownership, but we also help you to understand what is the asset here and what is the liability. We talk with you about your early retirement fund, children college funds, emergency savings account. So this is a very, very unique program for the average person out there who wants to know how to build out these unique portfolios. So that is, in a nutshell, some of the services that we are provided right now at Global Capital Inc. Now, today's program, we're going to be looking at the table of content. We're going to be looking at financial goal setting. Now, whether you're in business or whether you're in life and you want to achieve more, understanding how to set goal, understanding these goal setting systems can set you apart from the average person out there. Now, in this program, you will learn about financial goal setting. You will learn about financial game planning. You will learn about financial timelining, project implementation processes, control and management systems, control and management systems optimization. Last but not least, you will learn about control and management systems systemization. Now, there's a couple of things that I must emphasize to the students across the world who are studying with us at the 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp and at Global Capital Inc. I want to encourage you to practice reading a lot. If you're not reading, you need to listen to audiobooks and take notes as you listen to those audiobooks. And this program, once you're in this program, we will provide you with a number of audiobooks that will change your life, transform your thinking, and put you in that competitive advantage financially. I want to encourage you to practice writing a lot. Reading a lot allows you to get a lot of information. And when you write, here's where you're testing yourself to see how much you really understand that information. I want to encourage you to practice talking a lot on the subject matter. This subject matter here is financial intelligence. So I want to encourage you to practice this. All right. Last but not least, I want to encourage you to teach this program, teach the content, learn the content, and push yourself to be able to teach someone next to you. Might be your husband, your wife, your son, your daughter, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your auntie. Say something about it and push yourself to learn. So when you come into our 10X Wealth Leadership Clubhouse, we work with you to ensure that you can practice these tools. I want to say this to you. It is by practicing these tools that you're able to put yourself in a position of strength to master these systems that we are presenting to you. I want to emphasize again that at Global Capital Inc., with the design and rollout of the 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp, it is not just to provide information to you. Providing information, yes, it is critical, but it's also about ensuring that you internalize this information and you apply this information. Knowledge is power, but failing to apply that knowledge makes the knowledge futile. By applying that knowledge is where you get your superpower. So we are interested in three things: knowledge transfer, application of that knowledge, and results. So if we're teaching you about financial intelligence, at the end of the day, you must be way on your way, testing the systems and getting results. And of course, we have our mentors, we have our coaches that will be working with you to ensure that you get these concepts. And that is whether you're in business or whether you're the average individual who wants to achieve more financially. So let's get into today's program. We are talking about financial goal setting. Now, to set a goal perhaps is the easiest thing for people across the world to do. Why do I say this? Either at the end of the year or the beginning of every year, most people across the world, you start to think of what is known as your New Year resolution. You make a commitment to increase your disposable income. You make a commitment to enhance your knowledge and invest more in your personal development. You make a commitment to perhaps find a husband or find a wife. You make a commitment to achieve so much. But what happened after you make that commitment? Within a week or two, or within the first month, you forget that you made that commitment. You start to bob and weave in terms of the financial or personal goal that you set yourself. Now, there's a reason why you're bobbing and weaving, why you're shaking in your effort to set a goal. And in going through this exercise today, it will really help you to understand how to set financial goals like a pro. Now, we will just examine four of those concepts today, and there will be an exercise at the end of it, and we will continue in the next session with the other lessons. So, in setting financial goal setting, what are some of the things that you must think about? First, you must develop a clear financial goal. Your financial goals must be clear. It's not enough to say that you want to be rich. How rich do you want to be? To say you want to be rich is not clear enough. You must be absolutely clear in terms of how rich you want to be if you say that you want to be rich. Now, your goal must not only be clear, it must also be realistic. So we talk now about develop realistic financial goals. You don't want to say that you want to become a billionaire and it's not realistic. Now, let me say this. The issue of realism and realistic is subjective because what one person can do in terms of increasing their disposable income, the other person may not be able to do. And the differences may have a lot to do with mindset, access to capital, leadership, communication skills, leadership skills. All of these things influence what can be realistic or unrealistic. So it's a very subjective term. But when you are setting a goal and you're setting a realistic goal, you want to take into consideration issues like your leadership skills, your sales communication skills. You want to take all of these things into consideration, your level of self-knowledge and self-confidence and self-application. Because there are people, because you are not applying yourself, it's that alone sets the stage to undermine how much you can achieve financially. So you need to set realistic goals. Now, the next thing that I want us to look at here is an example. For example, setting a clear and realistic goal is when you say you want to generate or you want to increase your personal wealth by $5 million. Is that clear? Yes, it is clear. Is it real? It depends on who you're speaking to. For some people, yes. For others, absolutely not. I want to emphasize this because I want you to take this lesson really serious. There are many persons who remain stuck at goal setting. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 10 years, 15 years, and you're stuck at goal setting. The reason we do these programs is to get you unstuck, all right? And part of the process of getting you unstuck will bring us to the next step, which we're going to talk about just now, which is financial game planning. So I want you to think about it. So when you're stuck because in most cases, you don't have the game plan. What does financial game planning mean? What exactly does this mean? One, it means you must develop clear financial game plan. What exactly is a game plan? We will talk about that just now, but you need to have a game plan that can complement the goals that you're setting yourself. All right? You must develop realistic financial game plan. The game plan must be realistic. And we will do some deep dive, some analysis to really help you to understand what realistic means. There are some people that may want to sell water and believe that water in a narrow environment is going to get you this rich. But when you do the analysis, you recognize that water can only cash flow this much. So the realism is based on the potential of the game plan to cash flow. We'll look at that. So one of the examples that I want to give, and we're going to look at perhaps three examples today. The example could be you decide to start a car rental or taxi business. You decide that your game plan to cash flow to achieve $5 million in a period of time, you will be starting a car rental and perhaps a taxi business. That's one game plan. Of course, as we go into this example, you will see what is possible and what is not possible here. Perhaps the next example you might think about is to start an apartment rental. And of course, start an apartment rental, the average person might say, yes, it's capital intensive, but what if you have an existing home that you're living in? What if you have a good family friend, family member that will partner with you on your new apartment venture idea? What if you the starting of this apartment rental does not necessarily need to have tremendous amount of capital. And everything that I'm saying to you, what if, because I'm in this field, I can literally show you how to start an apartment rental, depending on which part of the world that you're in, with $0 down. All right. So we'll be happy to share those information with you as you come into the program and as we get practical with some of these programs that we're going to be rolling out. So your game plan could be either of these two. I want to look at a third game plan and we will examine all of them. Now, the next example, you can make a decision to become an affiliate brand consultant, an affiliate brand manager. And becoming an affiliate brand manager can open up so many doors for you. I've seen brand managers in the developed world who are able to generate, all right, in excess of 10,000 US dollars per month. And 10,000 US dollars in Caribbean dollars, Guyana dollars is how much? Is $2 million. The average person don't work for half of that per year. And here is where in 1 month from affiliate marketing, becoming an affiliate brand manager, you're able to achieve this. So can this be a game plan to achieve your the goal that you have set yourself, and that is to attain $5 million within a certain period of time? So the first thing that we look at here is financial goal setting. The second thing that we look at here, the second step that we look at here is financial game planning. Now, the third thing that we're going to be looking at here now is we're going to be going into some of these examples, and I want us to analyze the example. So starting a car rental or a taxi business, what is the potential of this to cash flow? Now, the possibility exists that your income projection can be about per week, $35,000 per month. It can be $140,000, and per year it can be like $1.7 million. Now, this is income. And in doing business, we have to look not only at your income, you have to look at your expenditure, you have to look at your net operating income and your ROI. Today, we will be looking at income versus expenditure, your balance sheet or net operating income. So your expenditure projection per month is likely to be about $10,000 because a taxi service, it's a car rental, and of course you have to do oil change. You may have to, do tire change and so forth. So the monthly income, let's put it roughly as about 10,000 Ks, and the yearly expenditure, this is going to be like about 220 Ks. So the monthly expense is 10,000 Ks, and the yearly expense is 220 Ks. Now, the remaining is what you're going to call your ROI, or net operating income. And your ROI in this case is going to be 1.5 Ks, 1.5 million dollars. Now, when you measure this against the financial goal that you set yourself of increasing your wealth by $5 million, this doesn't even take you halfway if you have just one car. Now, if you have two cars, you may be able to generate $3 million at the end of the year, but that is only now taking you halfway to the destination that you want to go. So here is when you're going to be asking yourself how realistic it is to reach your financial goal from doing a taxi or car rental. It is not realistic, particularly so if you have one car. All right. So this is how you need to evaluate when you're setting your goal planning. You're setting up your goal against your financial game plan. So the financial goal setting is where you clearly establish the finance that you want to reach at the end of a period. Your game plan, it must be the vehicle that is going to get you there. All right. So the first vehicle that we looked at is starting a car rental or taxi business. And this has shown very clear that if your financial goal that you have set at $5 million, this will not be able to get you there. Let's look at the second example. The second example is about starting an apartment rental business. Now, what are the possibilities here? It depends on what you're doing. Now, let's take, for example, that you have two apartments rental. All right, or you're starting two new apartment rental with what you have. But what you're doing traditionally, you are renting long term. Let us suppose that you are renting out each apartment for $100,000 per month, and you have two of them. Now, what that means is that when you calculate the monthly income against the yearly income, you will only be able to generate about $2.4 million at the end of the year. And that barely takes you to the halfway destination in terms of reaching the financial goal of $5 million. So going that route, it's in terms of the long-term rental, you have to rethink that process. The example that I want to give here now is let's look at the income projection. So instead of going long-term rental, you can do short-term rental. And DI means daily income. So there's a lot of Cubans that are coming to the Caribbean and they're coming to shop and spend a couple of days and go back. And we have many of them that are doing this. So what if you set up your operation to attract these international personnel that are coming to do business? It's quite possible. Many persons within the Caribbean are beginning to build out their business model to attract and appeal to this specific target market. So now let us say in this case, what you do, you take the two apartments, and you put two double bunk beds in each of them. So that gives you 8 resting facilities for these persons. Now, here you have 8 persons perhaps spending about 25 US dollars per day. 25 US dollars per day is going to give you about 40 GYD, 40 Ks per day, all right, in rental. Now, 40 days multiplied by a month, 30 days is going to give you $1.2 million. And on a yearly basis, it's going to give you $14.4 million. So looking at the apartment rental and using this approach, it will be able to get you there. All right, it gets you now way beyond your target because you set a target of $5 million at the end of perhaps a year. But this here has clearly shown that you can not only generate 5, but you can generate $14.4 million within a year. Now, as I said to people, and in my last book, I said, getting into these kind of field, real estate, apartment rental, it is capital intensive. And the average person who do not understand financial intelligence, you see this as a barrier to enter into these markets. You see this as a barrier to you taking steps to increase your disposable income. And I want to say this to you. If you take the time to study with us, to really understand financial intelligence, it will give you a different and a whole new perspective of steps that you can take to start positioning yourself to build wealth. All right. So I want to just encourage you to stick with this program. Don't hop out of the program. Stick with the program long enough for you to learn how to master these techniques, these systems, to bring yourself to that point of wealth. So let's come back to this example here. The income projection at the end of the year is $14.4 million. But what is your operational expenses? Per month, you may have approximately $200,000 per month expenses. And why? Because you want to give your guests perhaps 2 or 3 meals per day. Perhaps you want to take care of washing of sheets and that kind of stuff. So you would have those expenses. Your expense at the end of the year may come up to $2.4 million. I haven't calculated, taxes, but those are things that we'll look at later on as we go deeper into these programs. So you take away $2.4 million from $14.4 million will leave you with a net operating income of about $12 million. Again, you are still above the target that you have set yourself of $5 million. And I want to say this, getting into these areas of business is quite easy when you know what to do. Yes, it's capital intensive, but if you have the right mentor, the right coach, the right support team, the right PFA, professional financial advisors, personal financial advisors that can help you navigate this terrain, you will set yourself up to be financially free within a shortest period of time. The next example that I want us to look at is our affiliate brand managers model. The next example, you can make a commitment to become an affiliate brand manager. Now, exactly what do I mean? I've given you some examples already. We have seen persons in North America, in Canada, in England, across the world, who took the time to study superior brands, study branding and marketing. They positioned themselves to become affiliate brand manager, and they were able to amass massive amounts of capital for themselves. Now let's look at some examples. An affiliate brand manager will get commission. Let's take, for example, in this case, you're being paid. Before I come to the commission, one, you're your own boss. You can do affiliate marketing from your kitchen, your sitting room, or your bed. You can do affiliate marketing 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, or you work at your own convenience. You are your own boss. You can have an existing job and still do affiliate marketing as a secondary source of income. All right, so this is the advantage of learning these systems and working this system well enough for it to work for you. The next thing is that as you're your own boss, you can pay yourself 20% based on the agreement that you're going to have with the affiliate brands that you're going to be representing, 20% commission on all purchase. So everyone who purchased a product from your website, from you, you get paid 20% on purchase across the board. Now let's do some examination here. Now, if you're able to, let us say, sell 100,000 worth of goods or services in a set period, and you just the number of persons that you achieve this with is 5 persons. It means that you're going to get 20 Ks at the end of the month. And the 20 Ks I'm referring to is 20 Ks GYD, Caribbean dollars, Guyana dollars. Now, if you are not satisfied with 20 Ks per month, you can make a decision to upgrade it. So instead of targeting 5 persons, you can target 25 persons. Now, 25 persons and you being paid a commission of 20%, it allows you now to earn 100 Ks at the end of the month. Now, 100 Ks, mind you, is more than what a whole number of persons earn at the end of the month. But again, you don't have to be satisfied with this. You can push the boundary. You're your own boss. There's no limit to what you can achieve. You can push the boundary. But again, we are looking at these cases and we're asking yourself if this game plan can help you achieve your financial target at the end of the period of achieving $5 million. So you're achieving $100,000 here per month, multiplied by 12 months, you're only going to get $1.2 million. It's still not halfway there as yet. But guess what? You're not satisfied, so you push yourself a little further. So you're now attracting 50 persons instead of just 25 or 5 persons. Now this allows you to sell, to earn commission of 200 Ks per month. Now 200 Ks multiplied by 12 months will give you a sum total of $2.4 million, and that's only halfway. But the point that I want to make here, you're looking at this game plan and you're making objective assessment. Is it impossible to appeal to 50 persons in a month? Is it impossible to appeal to 100 persons in a month? Now, if you come to 100 persons, you immediately put yourself in an annual income bracket of about $4.8 million. And there's no limit here to how much you can achieve. Again, what we will do when you come into the 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp, we will be working with you to show you how to manage these systems, how to set up these systems and manage these systems. And again, we are only at the second step here of this program that we call wealth, goal setting, how to set goals and cash flow in a pandemic. Everything that I've talked about here is realistic, is real, it's being done by a number of persons across the world, and you can cash flow them. All right? So the next thing that I want us to quickly look at is financial timelining. Everything that we have just looked at, what is the timeline? You want to be real with your timeline. So your timeline is going to be 1 year. The next lesson that I want to introduce you to here is what we're going to call the project implementation process. Because everything that we have talked about just now, they are in the preparation stage. The goal setting is preparation, the game planning is preparation, the timelining is preparation. The implementation process is now where you're going to say, it's time to get up and go. It's time to take action. And guess what? Most people never get up and go. Most people never take action to achieve their dreams and their hopes and their aspirations. And they blame everyone else except themselves for where they're at right now. You rise and fall on leadership. You rise and fall on habits. You rise and fall based on the story that you're telling yourself. So let's come right back to the project implementation process. There's a number of things that you want to consider at this stage. One, you want to know your project start date. You have your timeline. What's your project start date? Are you going to start 5 years from the time that you develop the goal? Are you going to start 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or a week from the time you develop that goal? You got to make those decisions. Second, project end date. You want to know what's your project end date. Your project end date must correspond with the beginning and the end to give you a year. Third, your project completion criteria, you know, is $5 million must be in a bank account. This is the goal that you have set yourself. All right, and then last but not least, you have project integrity maintenance. Now, what the project integrity means, and we will explain some of this to you later on. The integrity means that you achieve the goal within time. All right, it means that you use every practical steps, and we will go through these things as we start talk to you about control and management systems, how to apply them to this system. I want to say this to you. Everything that I've just talked about here, based on the research that we are doing, we are very clear and certain that most people across the world do not apply this type of deep thinking into their goal setting. And this is why many people across the world, before the first, second, third week ends, you forget that you would have developed a game plan. You forget that you had your New Year resolution. You forget everything about it because you're going about it the wrong way. These programs to really help you to make better decision when it comes to developing your goal. Now, over the next few weeks, we will be talking to you about the additional tools that you should be learning, the steps that you should be learning in terms of goal setting. In our next lesson, we will talk about control and management system. Moving forward, we will also be talking about control and management systems optimization. Whatever is working, you want to identify if you can optimize them. What is not working well, you still want to figure out how to eliminate them or optimize them. And last but not least, we will be looking at control and management system systemization. You want to systemize it. So it must be traceable, transferable, scalable. All of those things you want to be in your game plan to cash flow maximize. So the next time around, you're setting yourself up to raise $5 million. You know immediately you're not going to go to taxi and car rental because it can only give you so much. Perhaps you're going to play around real estate development and apartment rental, and perhaps you will also be looking at affiliate brand managers. And there's so many other fields to look at. We have only choose to look at these two fields today. All right, so moving forward, we'll look at the last 3 lessons of this program. Now, I want to give you an exercise. And the exercise that I want you to do is, one, I want you to explain what is goal setting. What is your understanding of goal setting? 2, I want you to explain what is your understanding of financial game planning. And you can chat in the group, or when we get to our next session, I want you to be prepared to speak to this. Third, I want you to explain what is your understanding of financial timelining. If you look back at this video, all of those questions can be answered. Last, moving forward, I want you to explain what is project implementation. And this is so important. You don't want to develop the plan. You don't want to, you don't want to set the goal, develop the plan, timeline it, and then there's no implementation. Implementation is key. All right, this is knowledge being applied now, where you're going to become, it's going to become your superpower. The last question I want to put to you is this. You rise and fall on your actions and inactions. And I want you to explain what this means to you. Stop blaming people for where you are right now. Take ownership over your life. Take ownership over your financing. All right, so I trust that this lesson today was understandable. And I just want to close by reminding you that this program came to you with the kind compliments of Global Capital Inc. And remember, at Global Capital Inc., we provide services such as corporate debt management, corporate wealth management, personal debt management, and personal wealth management. So what this means is that if you have a business, we can help you manage your debt and we can help you increase your wealth. If you're a private individual, we can certainly help you manage your debt and help you to create wealth, build wealth, where within a few years, you can be financially free, financially independent, and you're all way on your path, way on your way of living a financially free life where you can do more for yourself, your family, your loved ones. So I want to encourage those who might be now looking at this program and you haven't registered, get registered for this program. It will literally transform your life. All right. Thanks again for being a part of this program. My name again is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession and a humanitarian by nature. And I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books, including Manager's Toolkit and Billionaire Codes. My new book, 10X Branding and Marketing, and I'm wearing the hat 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp. My new book, 10X Branding and Marketing, The Psychology of Doing Business, will be out very soon. And this book is for the business owner. It's for the average person who wants to know how to build a brand. And remember, you're a brand too. But this program really helps you to understand how to make a larger-than-life impact at 4 levels of your organization: the workforce, the specific target audience, the general public. Why? Because the general public might be your biggest cheerleaders, and on your bottom line, cash flow in your business, a very, very unique initiative. So be blessed and see you in the next broadcast. Remember to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Facebook page, share this content within your network so we can reach as much people as possible in the days and weeks and months ahead. Be blessed and see you soon.